Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we will be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's in Prosper, Texas. This is one of my favorite Lowe's to shop at. And as always, please make sure you are hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel for daily notifications. I do plant shopping videos, at least 1 hour plant shopping videos around 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, sometimes a bit later. But today we are going to be walking over here to this Lowe's to see what kind of plants they have both indoors and outdoors. And you can see right here they've got a bunch of these citrus trees available. I love me some lemons, some orange trees. You can see here they've got a Celeste fig. I was actually thinking about getting some fig trees and growing them out. This one is for $29.98. They do require full sun, but you can get an abundance of different types of fig trees. We got another type of citrus tree right over here. I do have a variegated pink lemon tree that I need to put in the ground. And then we've got some Satsuma oranges. Now, Satsuma oranges are so good. They are a little bit more pricey when you go buy them at a grocery store. So that would be something that you could possibly grow in the ground or in a container. And you can see we've got a bunch of Acer palmatum here. This one is for $89.98. These are also known as Japanese maples. For those that are new to the channel, I also feature different types of plants besides tropical indoor plants. I love Japanese maples. I love bonsai trees. I love any type of plant you can possibly think of. So hopefully you are going to enjoy this content because you will be seeing different types of plants daily. You can see right here we've got some more Crimson Queen. These are the lace leaf maples, and I like this Lowe's a lot just because this Lowe's always is stocked well. It's very convenient to get, and then they just have a lot of plants. Now, for those that aren't plant foldies, or if you're new to the channel, I call my viewers plant foldies just because I also do origami. But you can see right here, this is Lowe's, and we're about to walk into the garden center, see what kind of plants they have. I am filming this right off of getting off of work, so it is in the afternoon. It is that golden hour where you can see the sun is really bright. I do a lot of my plant shopping videos at night, but you can see here it is nice and bright. There are a lot of petunias, and I've stated this in several of my previous videos. It seems like petunias are the flower of the hour. Love those hanging basket petunias. So many different hybrids. But now we have walked over here to the outdoor garden section. They do have some tropical plants out here. So I'm going to walk over here and see what kind of tropical plants they have available. It looks like they've got some hibiscus here. I love me some hibiscus. You know, with hibiscus, they require full sun. Look at these gorgeous blooms. My family is from the Philippines, so I'm Filipino, and in the Philippines, we call hibiscus gomamela, and they grow so good in tropical climates. They like that humidity. They like that bright sun, alongside with all of these mandevilla flowers right over here. On our right side here is we've got a lot of like assorted succulents and cactus. And I want to show you this. Look at this gorgeous cordyline Hawaiian tea plant right here. This one is the kiwi version. So it's got that like green, pink, yellow. There's just a lot of colors happening with cordyline plants. I love cordyline plants. You can actually grow them in full sun. And when you grow them in full sun, they actually have better variegation and coloration. And we've got some bougainvilleas right over here. What else do we have here? We've got a bunch of Croton petra. So Croton plants, you can see these are often marketed as an indoor house plant. This one is for $10.98. But truthfully, any type of Croton plant is actually going to do better outdoors. They can grow in full sun, and truthfully, growing them in full sun is probably the best ideal. I know that they get the best coloration when it comes to that, but we're just going to walk over here, and I'm going to pan over and show you what other outdoor plants that they have. It looks like they've got a lot of assorted succulents right over here. And, you know, Lowe's is one of my go-to places to shop for plants. Whenever you go big box store plant shopping, it's always nice to compare and contrast different types of big box stores. And you can see right over here, this is another flowering, I believe, crown of thorns. Correct me if I'm wrong, plant folies, if that's not the correct plant ID. And I'm going to walk over here, and you can see there's some cypress trees, more shrubs that you can grow outdoors. I am excited to share with you guys my outdoor garden. I've been working on it a lot. And I'm gonna pan over here. So I've been getting interested in growing perennials. So this dahlia is a perennial, and for those that don't know what perennials are basically plants that you can plant in your landscape, really depending on your zones, but they will bloom or grow for a season, die off in the winter, and come back in the spring. So those are really cool plants to have. And over here we've got a bunch of encore azaleas. I love azaleas. Azaleas are absolutely stunning. They remind me of Japanese gardens. And for me, if you missed the last video I uploaded the other night, I showcased the Japanese gardens in Fort Worth, Texas. You'll understand why I'm all about Japanese gardens. I love the simplicity of it and just the plants. And let's take a look at it over here. Now we are looking at an Asiatic lily. Asiatic lilies come in different types of bloom colors. This one has a nice red bloom color. And we also have some roses here. And what I would tell you about roses, they like lots of heat, full sun. Do not water their leaves because they can potentially get that yellow black spot disease. And we've got some columbine flowers. This is the first time I've seen them at Lowe's. This one's for $8.98. I recently got into columbine flowers because the structure of the flower is beautiful, and you can see that they also look like squid or some type of sea creature. So I think that's really nice. They're also perennials. I planted a yellow one and a red one in my backyard right next to my Japanese maple. Bought those at Walmart because Walmart is a little bit more cost effective when it comes to that. But I am also going to walk over here and take a look. So I have been into Coleus plants. So I was never really into Coleus plants until I visited my grandmother and she was able to propagate them. Now these are only for $1.97, but guess what? This week, Lowe's is having a sale where they're literally only $1. So I will be picking out a couple of Coleus plants. What I like about Coleus plants are they're easy to propagate. You can really snap a piece off, stick it in water, and it will root. Or what, as my grandmother says, she just sticks it directly in the soil and you'll have some more Coleus plants. The only drawback about Coleus plants are they are a very, very thirsty plant. When I say they are thirsty, you literally have to water them every day, because if you miss a watering, the likelihood of the Coleus plant kind of shriveling up and getting crispy is a very high chance. For hotter weathers, like I live in North McKinney, it's in Texas, North Dallas, Texas, you can see that we get 100-degree weather and we're going to have to at least water twice a day at the minimum. And over here, we've got some Persian shields. I bought this not too long ago. Love the purple, the purple foliage, and this variegated boat lily, which is basically a Tradescantia. I actually found another highly variegated version at another Lowe's. I am growing it in a container in the hopes of being able to grow them indoors. I love purple plants, dark foliage plants, black plants. I think there is a certain elegance about it and allure that I absolutely love. And with variegated boat lily, they can take full sun. I think the more sun you give it, the more variegation it's going to have. And this one is a fig tree. Now, this is a fig tree that is actually on clearance, what I noticed. And part of me was tempted to buy it. So this one's for $16.98. So clearance pricing for Lowe's is 50% off, so it'd be like close to $9. And I was thinking about possibly trimming it back and making it into a bonsai. And over here we've got some fuchsia plants. I love the blooms. They've got that bell-shaped bloom on the fuchsia plants. They can get fairly large. Now with fuchsia plants, they require a little bit more shade and bright and direct light. And then look at this plant find. So do you see what I see, plant folies? Tradescantia Nanouk for $4.98 at Lowe's. So typically we'll see this as like a trending tropicals Costa Farms hanging basket for $19.84, but this is so cool. Now, if I didn't already own a Tradescantia Nanouk, I would possibly buy one, because look at this. These are fairly healthy. And, you know, with this plant, you can actually trim it back and water and put it in water to propagate, and you'll get some more. These are very easy to grow. They're fairly a vigorous grower too. They grow fairly quickly, And for $4.98, that is not a bad price for a starter plant. So if you want a Tradescantia Nanouk, and I would actually recommend it because it's one of those easier plants to grow, I would go to Lowe's and see if they have it available. $4.98 is not a bad price at all. I'm actually tempted to go buy one today, but you know, I always talk about this. I feel like I am going broke because I am constantly going to a big box store, a grocery store, some type of local plant nursery, and looking at plants every single day. I try to give, you know, my viewers and subscribers daily 1-hour plant shopping videos, because I just think it's fun. It's also fun to have you guys on the live premiere chat. So if you're watching this live and you are on the chat, thank you so much for joining the chat. If you're new to the channel and you make it to a live premiere, don't be shy. Please say hello to us. We are a very positive and kind and welcoming community. I can't thank all of you who consistently go to my live premieres and chat with me every night. I've been doing this for about 2.5, 3 months daily, and it has been a fun journey. But you can see right here, these Coleus plants are gorgeous. I definitely want to get this one because it's a different one, and I want to get this chocolate brown one since these are only $1. So I love finding sale plants, and I love all of the Coleus plants. So I will be doing a Coleus collection haul soon. And I do want to show you this Ajuga plant for $4.98. Look at that variegation, and mine is doing very well as well in a container. This is another plant that I would like to grow in a container indoors. For now, it is outdoors in my front patio facing south. So there's a lot of bright light there, but it's doing very well. And then I'm going to look at this plant. So this is another plant that Alternanthera, I don't know how to pronounce it, but this is for $4.98. I always wondered why this particular one was actually kind of burnt. There's some crisping on it, so I don't know if it's one of those plants that just needs to be in more shade. I do like the color of it. The purple, lavender color, maroon color is really nice. I saw a lot of varieties of that particular plant, and it's one that I would want to grow indoors possibly. So I've just been doing a lot of experimenting and checking out what plants can be grown indoors. You know, theoretically, if you have an outdoor plant, any outdoor plant can grow indoors. It's just a matter of what type of lighting conditions you can give. Like for instance, I wouldn't mind growing a hosta plant indoors. It kind of reminds me of a tropical plant. This one's for $12.98. This one's by Monrova, but look at that green on green variegation. It is absolutely stunning, and they have different varieties of it. So I'm just going to keep pulling these out and showing you guys what hostas they have available. And over here, we've got a gorgeous maroon chocolate color cordyline plant. I thought this was a Dracaena, but this is actually a cordyline plant by Costa Farms for $10.98. That's not a bad price at all. And we've got a bunch of Fatsa japonica or Japanese Aroia right here. This is just a regular green form. And then we've got a bunch of cordyline Hawaiian tea plants right over here. I think they are gorgeous as well. And the thing about Hawaiian tea plant is they do better outdoors. If you grow them indoors, there is a risk of actually getting spider mites, but it's one of those plants I would like to be able to overwinterize and grow when it's cold outside. So we're going to see. And then the variegated ginger. I love the variegation on this. I've attempted to grow this indoors twice and it hasn't really done well for me. So I think it's one of those plants that just really needs to be outdoors. We've got some gorgeous looking hydrangeas, some Callia lilies. I mean, look at that bloom right here. Plant foliage, what do you think about Callia lilies? I always find them at grocery stores and they're just readily available. But now we're going to walk in here and just take a look at the indoor tropical plants that they have. I love going to this Lowe's because they have a really good way of keeping their plants healthy looking, keeping it full, even if they don't necessarily get a full restock. I like how they merchandise their plants. So I'm just going to go pan over here, walk over here and show you what they have available as you walk in. one of my favorite plants to grow, Aglaonema. This is an Aglaonema Spring Snow by Costa Farms Training Tropicals in a self-watering planter. This one is for $19.84. Look at that variegation, and what I love about this Aglaonema is even if you don't give it as much bright and direct light, it will maintain that white variegation. This is an Aglaonema White Rain. That is another nice one by Costa Farms, and we are looking at a full jungle of Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. That is probably the #1 indoor beginner houseplant I would recommend for anybody starting to grow plants. And we're going to walk over here because it looks like this Lowe's has actually gotten a restock of urban jungle plants. I love the planter on this one. Look at that. It kind of reminds me of like Japanese like waves or origami paper. I really like the look of that planter, and this one is an Epipremnum aureum Snow Queen Pothos. I've been seeing a lot of Snow Queen Pothos. So the difference between a Snow Queen Pothos and a Marble Queen Pothos is the Snow Queen has more white variegation versus cream. It is highly variegated, so there's less green. It is a little bit slower of a pothos to grow, but I love that. Isn't that gorgeous? And can you imagine growing a pothos plant on a totem pole, a moss pole? If you haven't seen that already, but they actually grow very large leaves, almost like 2 to 3 feet wide, and length of the leaves when you grow them up a pole. So can you imagine seeing those highly variegated leaves in that large form? I think that's awesome. And these urban jungle plants are for $13.98. Now, I do like this planter. Normally, I like planters that are pretty much simple, as in like a matte finish, a neutral color like a gray, or a copper tone, or some type of terracotta look. That's kind of my aesthetic for it. And you can see here we've got a Philodendron heteroraceum Brazil. This one is for $22.98. Another urban jungle plant. I like this a lot. And what I like about urban jungle is they really have healthy looking plants. I will say that their plants are slightly pricey, and that's because of the planter that they're in. I am not really a fan of this planter. I am a fan of this plant, this black rabbit foot fern. Really nice looking fern, and you know, I have yet to add a fern in my collection. And one of my favorite plants is a Dracaena white jewel. So Dracaenas, I say this in every single video, it's an underrated plant. If you are growing plants indoors and don't have a Dracaena, I would highly recommend it because Dracaenas are so easy. When I say they're easy, you can literally underwater them. They can be in a darker spot in your space and they will still thrive. I did want to pull this out. This is a Philodendron Birkin, and this Birkin by Urban Jungles for $22.98. And you can see that certain Philodendron Birkin have more variegation, but look at how white that last leaf is that unfurled. There are some Philodendron Birkins that are called Philodendron White Measure. So we'll see about that, but this is another urban jungle plant. This one is a Calathea Green Goddess. I do like this Calathea just because most Calatheas have like purple undersides, but this one is legitimately just a green Calathea. I've talked about how green plants have a certain level of beauty as well as compared to variegated plants or plants that have a lot of coloration. When you think about plants, you think about greenery, and there's just a certain level that I appreciate for that. And over here, we've got a Homolamena Shelby, and I did say that tongue twister, Homolamena Shelby. This one is for $22.98. This is another uncommon plant, and I'm glad that I'm seeing more of these out on by Urban Jungle at Lowe's. I have yet to get a Homolamena. This one is a nice one. It's got a velvet texture to it. There are a couple of Homolamena that I want to add to my collection. The Shelby is one that I will definitely add at some point, but there's even some that I really want to add. And over here, we got another Philodendron heteroraceum Brazil. I do love the Philodendron heteroraceum Brazil. This one particularly has some really good variegation, high variegation, and it is an easy to care for plant. Actually, any Philodendron heteroraceum or Philodendron heart leaf are easy. They have the same or similar growth pattern as a pothos plant. And here we've got another Calathea. Look at that leaf shine, that natural leaf shine this Calathea has. This is super healthy. And you know, calatheas are very deceiving. You know, when you go to a big box store or just a plant shop, calatheas have that perfect leaf. But you know, calatheas, when you don't give it the right growing conditions, as in if you water it with hard water and tap water, or you underwater it, the leaves will shrivel up and crisp, sometimes even turn brown. So it's a finicky plant, but I found a loophole on growing calatheas, and that's basically growing calatheas in straight water or hydroponics. So there's not a guessing game on when I should water my calathea. It's done very well for me. All three of my calathea are thriving. And I do like this green version, this Philodendron heteration, just green version, no variegation. Look at how gorgeous that leaf is. And I always am going to be a fan of this. This is a bird's nest fern. I often show you a lot of these plants. So for those that continue to watch my videos, I appreciate it because I know that pretty much every single day you will see a bird's nest fern, some pothos plant, an Aglaonema red siam, a philodendron birkin like this one. But it's so cool that you guys take the time to engage with me, chat with me, leave messages on my YouTube channel, even add me on Instagram, and direct message me. So really appreciate that. I'm hoping that our channel will continue to grow. And if you've gotten this far and haven't already, all I ask is please hit the like button. I know I've got a lot of plant foldies that will encourage people on the chat, but hitting that like button really does make my efforts to continue to make, you know, daily plant content. You know, if somebody asks me how long it takes to make one video, total time to film the video, to edit the video, to do the voiceover, to travel to the big box stores is a total of 5.5 hours each day, on top of my 10-hour work day, on top of just my life in general. So if you're able to, at least if you're listening to this, if you're watching this and you haven't already, please make sure you're hitting the like button. It will definitely encourage me to make more plant shopping videos. But let me get off of that rant and go back to the plants. As you can see, Urban Jungle has been restocked, so I am going to be more on the lookout at Lowe's to see what type of Urban Jungle plants pop up. You can see this is a Sansevieria, and these are all for $13.98. I am a fan for once of that particular planter. I've seen Urban Jungle release some really cool uncommon Alocasias, and so I'm going to make some rounds to Lowe's. And right here, this is everybody's favorite. This is Hedera helix, or the correct way to say it is Hedera helix, English ivy. So if for those that have just tuned into my video, we have this running joke where I say Hedera helix instead of Hedera helix. I was saying it incorrectly on my initial videos, but for some reason it stuck by. I love English ivy. In a nutshell, English ivy are so difficult to grow, but for some reason I've been able to grow ivy successfully this time around. And you can see here we've got some Casa Farm bonsai trees, some more bird's nest ferns here. These are all for $15.98 in self-watering planters. And check this out. This is a full hanging basket of Epipremnum aureum Snow Queen pothos. Love the Snow Queen pothos. I love all pothos in general. Like, it's one of those really easy to take care of plants. They are very forgiving on underwatering, overwatering. They're very versatile plants. Now with the Snow Queen pothos, you do want to give it a lot of bright indirect light. They do better when you are actually giving them that bright indirect light because they hold on to their variegation. But check this out. Another plant find. Epipremnum aureum Manjula pothos. This is for $16.98. So for those that are fans of this plant, I am a huge fan. I love Manjula pothos. It's a different type of pothos because it's highly variegated. The leaf shape is a little bit more round, and if you grow this on a pole or like a stake or something, you can see that it will grow really large leaves. And compared to the Snow Queen pothos, it holds its own beauty. I want to show you just the original pothos. You can see that these pothos, compared to this variegated Manjula, I mean, the Manjula just takes the crown. Snow Queen is great as well, but I love seeing different types of hanging baskets of pothos. I actually have a hanging basket of Snow Queen and Manjula pothos. Steven, one of my plant foldies, I definitely need to get it to you. I am going to PlantCon International on April 13th. So that's not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Steven, you need to make it to PlantCon so I can give you your Snow Queen your Manjula Pothos there. If you are making it, if you're a plant foldie, I will try to I am going to be trying to wear a Grow Folds t-shirt. I'm actually getting it custom made. So you might be able to find me at PlantCon. Here is a Croton Mame. This one is for $5.98 in a wick planter. So basically it has a little string that you can put that plant into a self-watering planter. And here is an example of an Epipremnum aureum Marble Queen Pothos. This one is for $16.98. Notice how the Marble Queen Pothos is a little bit more green. It doesn't have nearly as much white variegation. It's got more cream versus like legit white variegation. And I'm going to bring out the Snow Queen Pothos and put it right next to it and kind of show you the difference between the two. If you can tell that the Snow Queen Pothos is got a lot more variegation, a lot wider leaves, and the variegation is more white as compared to like a cream color. But both plants are gorgeous. I would consider the Marble Queen just a less variegated Snow Queen. And then we're just going to keep looking at all of these hanging baskets right over here. I am a fan of this particular Lowe's because they have healthy looking plants. And here's another Hedera Helix. This Hedera Helix English Ivy is for $20.98. This one doesn't have a specific cultivar name. It's just an English ivy. Now, care test for English ivy, I would say, and here's another Hedera Helix. This English ivy is a big shot English ivy, but English ivies in general, they need bright indirect light. You don't want to overwater the soil. That's how they get a little bit more susceptible. I would say if you're growing them indoors, spray them with a neem oil type spray weekly. Have a humidifier near them and you will most likely be able to grow them successfully. That's how I've kept spider mites away from my English ivies, and they haven't gotten leggy. They've actually been growing some new growth. And what a beautiful looking Epipremnum aureum Neon Pothos. Neon Pothos is another pothos that has a different vibe about it. It can definitely light up a darker space in your house. I love Neon Pothos. If I had to choose between like the Golden Pothos and Neon Pothos, it would be Neon Pothos all the way, just because I love neon plants, yellow plants. Those plants are awesome. And another plant that I am really excited to have is a strawberry begonia. I have a variegated version. I bought it from Calloways Nursery, which is a local plant nursery that I often frequently go to. I got it as a starter plant for $2.99, and it has some beautiful pink variegation. You can see there's some African violets here and some more Live Trends plants. So Live Trends also has some really nice planters. This one is a really cool looking bromeliad, and then we have a Ficus elastica ruby here. I saw this last time. Nice healthy looking plant. With the Ficus elastica ruby, you want to give it a lot of bright indirect light to keep that ruby, red tone on its leaves. And here's a gorgeous Ficus elastica burgundy. What I like about the burgundy is the new leaves that are about to unfurl has a very stark red color before it unfurls. I also like the red vein on it. Very easy to grow plant. And then also a Ficus lyrata here with some very wide, large leaves. This used to be a very finicky plant, or what people say, but for some reason mine has been doing very well. I actually bought mine for 99 cents. It was about the same size as this at a grocery store called Sprouts. And here we've got an Alocasia pink dragon. Nice looking Alocasia pink dragon. I love this because of the pink stems, also the veining on the leaves, and it has a gorgeous purple undertone as well. Now this is by Urban Jungle for $22.98. I have one that I rescued from Walmart. I got it for $7 on clearance, and it's doing very well. My Alocasias are doing well. I wouldn't say they're perfect, but for a finicky plant, it's not bad at all, and I'm excited that I have been able to successfully grow them. We've got some flowering anthuriums here. I'm growing all of my flowering anthuriums in straight water or hydroponics, and they've done very well for me. And we've got a Photonia plant here. This is a mixed version of Photonia. So we've got a white Photonia, a pink Photonia. This is for $7.98 because this is in a 5-inch planter. Not a bad price at all for Costa Farms. I have yet to add a Photonia plant. There are some really cool Photonia hybrids that Proven Winners has actually released, so I might get that. And here is another Dracaena right here. This is a Dracaena lemon surprise, and that can actually get very large. The growth pattern for a Dracaena like that is moderate, so it's not a slow growing plant, but it's not a fast growing plant either. And you can see we've got a lot of other plants that we can look at over here. It's not necessarily restocked, but you can see there are a lot of exotic angel plants available to purchase. Let's talk about Dieffenbachia, specifically this Dieffenbachia. This is a Dieffenbachia sublime, or what Costa Farms calls Dieffenbachia sparkle. This one is for $12.97. Now you can buy the same Dieffenbachia at Walmart for $9.97. I ended up adding another Dieffenbachia in my collection. Look at that variegation on it, that green stark variegation. Lovely. Dieffenbachias are a little bit more challenging. They look like Aglaonema, but the difference is Dieffenbachia require a lot of bright indirect light. They don't like to be, if they don't get enough light, they will get leggy. Like this one is a gorgeous looking Dieffenbachia Camille, and this one's actually pretty full. But what happens is if you don't give it enough light, it will drop its leaves and become very leggy. Dieffenbachia are extremely toxic. So if you have pets, you don't want to really have a Dieffenbachia because the leaves are very toxic. Dieffenbachia, if you get the right lighting conditions, they will grow well for you, but it's all about getting them that bright light. Actually, the Dieffenbachia I have are growing outside right now in my outdoor patio, just because there's a lot of light that comes through. Truthfully, I think Dieffenbachia, unless you have it under a grow light, indoors doesn't do as well. And you can see here another Philodendron Birkin. Look at how highly variegated that leaf is. It's almost white. And you can see all of these plants are the Rescue Me plants. I'm not going to spend too much time there on the clearance plants. And we're going to walk by here on the right side. We've got a bunch of Majesty palms, a Spathiphyllum or peace lily, and then tons and tons of orchids. So we've got different types of orchids here. These ones are the Phalaenopsis orchids. These are all by Costa Farms again. And you can see they come in different varieties, colors, and shapes. I've added my first Phalaenopsis orchid. It's a variegated one where it had variegated leaves. I bought it at Kroger, which is a grocery store out here in Texas. Love Kroger. They have some really good plants for very cost-effective pricing. But you can see Phalaenopsis orchids are so common. I'm surprised that there's not a lot more people just really adding Phalaenopsis orchids to their home, houseplant collection. I like that Lowe's has different types of orchids. They've got Phalaenopsis orchids, they've got Vanda orchids, they've got Calathea orchids, they've got Dendrobium. I think that's how you pronounce it. Like this one right here is a little different orchid. And it's just so nice to see varieties. And I mean, this Lowe's is pretty good. I would, if you guys would agree with me, look at this bromeliad here. One of my favorite types of bromeliads, the ones with a very bright pink. This one is for $20.48 by Costa Farms. Love bromeliads again. And this one really does look like somebody spray painted some pink spray paint there. Love that a lot. And then obviously these gorgeous Raven ZZ plants. I would say Raven ZZ plants are one of the easiest plants. This is by Costa Farms for 1984. I have 2 Raven ZZs and they are doing absolutely fabulous for me. Very low maintenance plant, and what I like about it is if you spray it with neem oil or leaf shine, the leaves are to die for. Like, I love that dark foliage, and you can see we've got tons of plants here. And if you notice the merchandising at this Lowe's, they have all of the plants, the same types of plants like this Ficus lyrata group together. So that's all I have for that Lowe's. And now we're going to be going over to one of my favorite local plant nurseries. This is Callaway's Nursery, and this one is specifically out in Prosper, Texas. I often frequent this because I am based here very close to this Calloways. But if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you already know Calloways has so many plants. And I wanted to feature this. So I know most of you guys will only really watch my big box stores, but I really hope you guys can also take a look at the local plant nursery. So please stay on this video and watch it the whole way. There is a surprise at the end. And if you made it this far, please make sure you are hitting the like button. I worked super hard to get this content for y'all, and that's really the easiest way to support me. But you can see those were some really cool hydrangeas with dark foliage. Love dark foliage plants. So we're just going to see what kind of plants they have available at Calloways. I have been frequenting Calloways pretty much every day because every day they have gotten a new shipment of plants. So like you can see right here, they've got a whole pallet of plants. So we're going to see what kind of plants they have. They've got some oxalis or some shamrock plants, and I'm going to see if they can actually unload some of them. They've got some caladiums, and look at this. So I am obsessed with Coleus plants, and look at this magenta pink color Coleus. This one is a covered cherry Coleus plant. This one is for $6.99. I don't mind spending a little bit more on Coleus plant because I can grow this out, propagate it, and get some more. And an update on my Coleus plants. After day 5, my Coleus seeds have actually sprouted. I need to actually film it and make sure I document that process, but that's a Coleus plant I'm gonna buy, as well as this one right here. I've already gotten this one. This is a Coleus Golden Gate. Look at that. It looks like flowers. It's doing very well for me. I've already taken some cuttings and I'm hoping to actually propagate and make more. I want to be like my grandmother. My grandmother is actually the source of my inspiration for plants in general. She literally took a bunch of like 3-inch starter planters of Coleus and was able to multiply them and put them in 10-inch planters one season. So I might end up doing that. Call me a Coleus hoarder. But for those that aren't into Coleus, I would recommend growing them because they're super easy to grow. And then we're just gonna walk over here and see what kind of plants they have here. It looks like this whole table was already shopped and wiped out, but look at all of these gorgeous blooms. If you like Rex begonias, you can go to Calloways and pay $16.99 for a fairly established large Rex begonia. My thing about Rex begonias are they can be a little bit tricky, but the trick is you don't want to top water them. So you don't want to take a watering can or a hose and hose down the leaves. They do not like to be top watered. The best way to grow a begonia, a Rex begonia, is to let it dry out completely, the soil, and then bottom water it. So like have a saucer full of water, stick the pot there, let the soil soak it up, and you're good to go. But lots of Rex begonia, and then just this sea of like red begonias. This wax begonia here is gorgeous. This one is the baby wing begonia. So these all-star ones are for, I believe, $2.99 or $3.99, but needless to say, very healthy plants. Love begonias. Didn't realize the begonias were actually grown for their flowers as well. And you can see the sea of begonias. Love the dark foliage, and also that red cherry color is amazing. Like, look at this. Absolutely stunning. And these are all for $1.99 as starters, so that's really cool. And I'm hoping that I can grow these indoors eventually. They can get fairly large, but look at that. want to pan over here. I've already shown this in a previous video, but this particular Rex begonia, look at how large the leaves are. I should probably purchase this because look at that. Isn't that stunning? And that's only for $16.99. Honestly, that is not a bad price at all for a very established begonia. Love that metallic shine on the leaves, the texture on the leaves. There's just so much going on. Plant foldies, let me know what you think about this particular begonia. And as always, if you get a chance after this video, watching this video, or even during the video, please comment. I highly encourage it. Leave timestamps. Just tell me what plants you like, your opinions. I love just seeing the comments. Like, I'm hoping that the comments section can be like flooded with over like 100 comments. And if you're watching this in the live premiere, please feel free to chime in and let me know what plants you like or care tips, because I always like to learn from you as well. You know, it's a learning journey for both of us. I'll give you my opinions about the plants, but it's always fun to also get your opinions about the plants and your plant care. And you can see here, we've got some geraniums. I love the colors of those geraniums. Not a fan of what geraniums smell, though. Their leaves are not the best smelling. And then right over here, more Coleus plants. So forewarn you, most of my big box store plant shopping videos, you will see Coleus. That is my new obsession. And you can see this right here is in a 4-inch or a 5-inch planter for $6.99. That's not a bad price at all. And look at that nice red color. I also love that, you know, Coleus plants tend to have like borders. So like that one has a green border around it. And we've got a bunch of these Coleus plants. Now these are for $2.99, I believe. And this one I'm actually going to pick up and buy today just because I haven't seen one that has that white cream variegation with the green outlining. Plant foldies, let me know if you guys are growing Coleus. What I intend to do with my Coleus is actually grow them up and make them into Coleus trees. There's this Instagram account that literally grows Coleus plants that are up to like 2 to 3 to 4 feet tall, and they're a full canopy tree. I love the fact that you can grow Coleus indoors, and you can multiply them very easily. And you can see there's just different types of varieties here. So my goal is to actually check out all of the big box stores and in Callaway specifically for different varieties of Coleus plants. I mean, look at this right here. They've just got so many varieties. And then this one I ended up buying at Lowe's for $1, but this one is for $2.99, I believe, or $1.99. This one is a Coleus Kong, so this one will definitely need to be more on the shade. So there's certain Coleus that can handle full sun. I actually prefer that, but some Coleus will just really like to be in full shade. But if you give them bright indirect light, so like morning light, they will give you the best coloration. So that's another thing I would want to like highlight with Coleus plants. Coleus plants are very thirsty plants, so that's the only drawback. Is if you're an underwaterer like me, there's going to be a little bit more effort that you have to put in order to grow a Coleus plant successfully. They're very easy to propagate. Again, you can literally take a couple of cuttings, take the bottom 2 leaves off of the cutting, stick it in water, and you've got a new Coleus plant. And then here's another Coleus plant I will buy right here. This one's for $6.99. This one has more of a maroon look about it. So there's even various degrees of coloration of the reds and pinks and purples. Coleus plants have so many different types of coloration. And yeah, these, I like the fact that, you know, this Calloways has a pretty good amount. And look at that peacock right there. I'm just going to pan over and show you a couple more. Talk about dark foliage plants. Like this one is a nice purple plant here. This Coleus plant is one that I want to add. The only thing about these, like you know, strap leaf or more thinner leaf Coleus, I don't know if they're pretty difficult to grow, or do you need the wide forms, because they seem to be fairly easy, but I don't know if their growth would be the same pattern or if they would be as vigorous. Like this one right here is another nice one for $6.99 in a 4-inch planter. The roots are popping out. This one would be another one that I would want to purchase today. I have a lot of Coleus plants. I'm up to like 10 different varieties. And on top of that, I probably put 100 seeds down of Coleus plants. So we're going to see what kind of Coleus colors come up. It's like Christmas. You're waiting for them to just show their true forms. I do like this Coleus plant as well right over here. I do like that it has more pink into it. And this one is another one I would want to buy. Honestly, I wish I could just get a cutting and propagate it instead of having to buy the whole plant, but we'll see if they have starter plants or smaller plants right here. The thing about Coleus plants are they can get leggy, so you want to make sure that you're pinching back or cutting it back to promote more bushy growth. And you can see this one is a mixture of different types of Coleus plants. What I like about it is it does have that green edging on its leaves. I also like the texture of the leaves. It's got a velvety look about it, and there's different types of Coleus plants that I'm just interested in. I'm just talking about Coleus plants in general, but you can see in a local plant nursery, you will find them even in big box stores. So I'm going to see what the best pricing is for Coleus plants. But again, Coleus plant care tips, they need bright indirect light. They would prefer shade unless specifically, stated that they can do full sun. And you talk about plants that are versatile in the lighting conditions. So these Riger begonias and wax begonias right over here can take full sun or shade, and that's the thing I like about that. And then we've got some more begonias right over here. I love the stark green begonias, and you can see that this one is a hula pink begonia. You can actually take some of these node cuttings, stick it in water, and it will easily propagate. Like you can see here, this is another begonia, and I'll show you the plant ID. This is a coral flame Viking begonia. This one is for $6.99, and you can see that the blooms are beautiful. I love pink flowers. I mean, they just bring you joy. And whenever I look at pink flowers, they kind of remind me of like cherry blossoms for some reason. And then it reminds me of like a Japanese garden. There's just, I don't know, there's a lot of plants that will just reminisce and show me that, kind of make me think about a Japanese garden. And you can see how gorgeous all these flowering plants are. So I'm just going to keep showing you guys what else they have here. We've got some more oxalis plants here, or purple shamrock plants. So happy I was able to find a 6-inch one for a reduced clearance price at Kroger for $2.20. Now this one right here is for $7.99, so I feel like I got a better deal. Now with oxalis plants or shamrock plants, these are considered perennials. You can actually plant this in your landscape. They can take full sun or shade, and they will return back year after year and eventually spread. So that's, if you want some cool ground cover, I would grow one of these. And these obviously can grow indoors. I will be growing mine indoors, although I am debating on whether I should just plant them in the ground and let them like spread and become ground cover. I added a bunch of perennials to my outdoor garden. Like I have some lantanas I bought at Calloways and a bunch of these other perennial plants like the columbine flower, but you can see here more shamrock plants, and these ones are happy because they're blooming. And then we've got some hibiscus plant here. Look at that that spider. And we're just gonna walk over here, and I'm just gonna show you the array of flowering hanging basket plants and hibiscus. Now these hibiscus plants haven't fully bloomed yet, so we don't know what types of colors they have. But again, hibiscus plants, they require full sun. The more sun you can give it, the better. They are a little bit of a thirsty plant, so make sure you are watering them thoroughly. And if you can get them some really good humidity, they will really blow up and grow for you. You can see they've got different colors. I love that crane garden decoration. I do origami paper cranes. I make those, and they just kind of remind me of that as well. But this is what we've all been waiting for, these hanging baskets of petunias. Love that. I actually love the pink one. So I'm just gonna walk through and show you the different colors and kind of stop my commentary. I will say, if you find a particular petunia color, leave in the comments which ones you like. If you've grown petunia, care tips for petunias, because I'm thinking about getting a hanging basket of pink petunia at some point. But we're just gonna walk through this aisle, and I'll show you all the different varieties and show you guys some close-ups. And if you're going to ask me specifically what petunia I like the most, it would be these pink ones. They remind me of cherry blossoms. It would actually fit my Japanese garden aesthetic right here. This one is for $29.99, this hanging basket. And it's one that I would actually add to my garden. I have this little hanging pole where I have a bird feeder, and then there's another hook where I can put this flower. So this might be something I might revisit. The cool thing about Calloways is it is still early in the season. Like we're literally on day 5 or 6. And you know, we're gonna get a lot of these plants. I do like the fact that they also have a good mixture of colors. So I love the purple and yellow combinations. The canary pastel yellow combination with that candy cane maroon is really gorgeous. Plant folies, let me know what you think about petunias if you're growing them. I am fascinated that there's so many hybrids and different types of petunias, and we're just gonna keep walking by, and I'm gonna show you what other plants that they have here at Calloways. It almost feels like it's never ending, huh? Just because of all the gorgeous flowers here. When I look at flowers, I just am reminded about how they bring people joy. You know, when you think about somebody who's sick at the hospital, we bring them flowers. But I say, if you want to bring that happiness and joy to your life, why not bring flowers like this? Why not get hanging baskets of petunias and put them outdoors? You know, petunias love sun, so you can put them in full sun and they will do very well. I am actually thinking about getting different types of petunias. You know, I was all about growing indoor tropical plants when I started this YouTube channel. Originally, I was all about bonsai and Japanese maples, but now I'm thinking that I should focus also on these outdoor plants and look at all of these beautiful flowering plants. Like these are sun patients. So sun patients are basically impatiens that can tolerate being in full sun. Impatiens need to be in the shade, but these sun patients can take sun, and that is awesome because look at that cherry red look, and then also that red veining on the leaf, and the leaf also has that bronze look about it. There's just so many different like qualities about this particular sun patient that I love, and these are for $3.99. So if you are living in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or if you ever visit the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there are several Calloways nurseries. Highly recommend this nursery. I think you would be saving money. You would get a lot of different types of varieties of plants. The staff is always friendly. They have a good return policy where basically if you're a Garden Rewards member, if a plant dies and you have the plant in your receipt, you can literally return the plant and get your full refund, no questions asked. So there is a little bit of a guarantee. Some people will say that Callaway's plants are a little bit more pricey than a big box store, but with the guarantee, you know, being able to return it, I don't think that's a bad price at all. And you can see here more flowering plants here. Now these are for $29.99. So if you just want to have a bunch of flowering hanging baskets of petunias, I say go for it. And look at that precious looking hibiscus flower. I love pink hibiscus flowers. They're gorgeous, and I love the fact that I was able to actually find a variegated hibiscus flower where it's basically got some nice variegation on the leaves. And then here are what I would call the colorful Alocasia, or also known as caladiums. Caladiums remind me of syngoniums and especially Alocasia, but they just have more color. Caladiums grow from bulbs. And typically, caladium bulbs will not really start to sprout until it gets hotter weather. So sometime in the summer is really when caladiums grow. Caladiums need to be in shade. They really can't take full sun. But if you give it more bright, indirect light, like morning light, you will get the best coloration for caladiums. If you're a fan of like red plants, pink plants, or ghostly white plants, caladiums are for you. And I've asked some plant foldies if they were going to grow some indoors. They've stated, you know, some of you guys said that you would attempt to do so. Let me know how that goes, because I also want to do that with one of my pink caladiums I got. And I'm going to walk over here because these are one of my favorite plants. This is a variegated bougainvillea plant. This is a raspberry ice. So you would think about a variegated plant that is highly variegated like this as a plant that needs to be in like shade, but this one needs to be in full sun to really get the best variegation. You'll get some sun stressing where the variegation will even show shades of pink, and the flowering will also show. I love bougainvillea flowers. This is one that I would actually convert into a bonsai. And for those that don't know what bonsai is, you know, bonsai are basically plants that you grow in a shallow container. You trim them, shape them into a miniature tree, and you can use a variety of different types of plants. The bougainvillea would be a good candidate. And you can see here, I'm going to pan over all of these gorgeous wax begonias, different varieties, different colors. These are for $12.99, and you know, it's one that you can add into a landscape, a flower bed, containers. And you can see right over here we've got some impatiens. Now these impatiens would need to be in more shaded areas versus full sun, but we're just going to walk over here and I'll show you what kind of plants they have. Now plant foldies, do you see what I see? Now this is a really good combination of hanging basket or trailing plants. They basically put a spider plant, an English ivy, not an English ivy, a Swedish ivy, some Tradescantia, and some other plant that's trailing. These are all for $29.99. So this is the foliage trailing plants collection by Callaway. So this is actually Callaway's brand, but you can see they've got a lot of trailing plants right over here. Gorgeous looking plants. They all have similar care tips, and they all can be propagated very easily. Like look at this Tradescantia here. It has some flowers. Look at this one right here. This Tradescantia is really nice. I love the purple undersides on the leaves, and you can take multiple cuttings and propagate it. And you can see that this is a Swedish ivy, just a green form. I like that a lot. I've seen some people checking it out, and then we're gonna look at some of this. Here's your favorite, guys. Hydra helix. This Hedera helix or English ivy is for $6.99. This is just a plain green one. English ivy are a little bit more susceptible to spider mites when grown indoors. They actually do very well outdoors. So if you want to grow a hanging basket of English ivy, you can just grow them outside. And for some reason, they don't really get spider mites. They do better. But grown indoors, you definitely want to have more humidity around it. You want to spray it with neem oil to kind of keep spider mites at bay. If you just leave an English ivy indoors by itself, give it about 2 to 3 weeks, and sometimes those like spider mites will just come out. And then this is a really cool Tradescantia as well, but this one actually has a little bit of fuzziness around it. I remember finding a Tradescantia that was called Velvet, but this one is just a purple Tradescantia, so maybe there is a little bit of fuzziness on that. Really like that a lot. These are considered ground cover. And then look at this right here. You can chop this up and make multiple cuttings. They propagate very easily. Now all of these are for $1.99. So if you want to start, a starter plant of Tradescantia, I would say Callaway's Nursery is definitely a good place to source it out. Or if you don't have a Callaway's and you have a local plant nursery, check your local plant nurseries out. Sometimes it's better to start out with a starter plant versus buying a highly mature one. And this is the Tradescantia I was talking about. This is the Tradescantia Velvet. Take a look at this. I love the fact that it's got a mint green color, but the leaves or the foliage has like a texture where it's like fuzzy and velvety. It looks like some spider webs around it. So that's a really cool Tradescantia. Another favorite plant of mine, they can be grown outdoors or indoors. They're actually not a hard to grow plant. The only problem is with Tradescantia is they get leggy. So as it starts to get leggy, you want to trim them back pretty aggressively. So I like looking at the garden accents line that they have at Calloways. This one is a Plumosa fern. You often see this at Kroger by Mason Farms. They also source it out, but look at how delicate looking that fern is. It is a gorgeous looking fern. I would think it would need more humidity. And then right over here, this is a variegated vinca vine. All of these plants right here, I believe, are for $2.99 or $3.99. But, you know, I was even thinking about growing a vinca vine indoors. Definitely want to try to grow this outdoors because it is trailing and I love the variegation on it. And then we've got some more garden accents here. Here is another Hedera helix. This Hedera helix English ivy is a gold baby English ivy. Again, nice yellow variegation on it. You can grow them as ground cover, and in some places they do very well and can actually withstand the winters. You don't want to grow them on a wall though that's wooden, on like the wall of a house, because it can actually really tear up the wood. And in here we've got one of my favorite ivies. This is a Swedish ivy. This one I actually have growing in a container. It's one that I will definitely grow indoors. It's a fairly fast grower, and you can see that the roots there are pretty established. You can take cuttings and make multiple propagations. I've got two different varieties. I've got a Swedish ivy that is called guacamole, where it's got more yellow variegation and green, and that one is the white edge one. And you can see we've got more plants right over here. Now this is a Euphorbia pencil, or a cactus plant. I like it a lot. It looks like pencils indeed. And I'm just going to walk here and show you guys some other plants. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the content today. I know that we've shown you some big box store plants, but I love showing you guys Calloways because Calloways has some amazing plants, different varieties that I can talk about. And you already know I will talk to you guys about plants, my thoughts, for at least an hour. Today, this one is a little bit longer video since it's Friday, and maybe we can have that plant party. But you can see here, we've got some polka dot pink plants right here. Now, this one is for not a bad price at all. The only problem is with polka dot plants, they look gorgeous now, but their care, I think they need a little bit more humidity. They definitely don't like to be in full sun or bright light like that because their leaves start to crisp up. And here's a combination of white and pink polka dot plants. You can see there is a little bit of crisping already. So I have killed multiple ones of these. So these are plants that I wouldn't necessarily grow. I would just kind of admire, or as you know, I do window shopping when I do big box store plant shopping. And over here, we've got some ajuga. Or no, this isn't ajuga plants. This is another not English, I keep saying English. Sorry, Swedish ivy, but this one has purple underside. So I am all about that Swedish ivy. You know, there are plants that I would say these are probably meant to grow outdoors, but if you give it enough bright light indoors, you can grow it indoors. What I like about this plant though is it's a very easy to propagate plant. You can literally take a cutting, stick it in water, and it will root. And I'm all about those free plants. You know, when you talk about shopping for plants, I also want to talk about how do you grow your plant collection with minimal plants, like just by propagation. Here is an Algerian ivy, so it's not a Hedera helix. It's an Algerian ivy, so I can't really say it that much. So, and you can see here more plants, more ferns, assorted ferns here. So I'm just going to pan over and show you guys all of the different types of ferns they have available at Calloways. So many lovely plants at Calloways, and I love visiting during the golden hour, late afternoon when that sun is shining. And you can see here we've got a bunch of bonsai starters for $3.99. Plant foldies, you guys want to see me do more bonsai? For those that missed my plant video yesterday, where the Fort Worth Botanical Gardens, I actually showcased how I made a Ficus triangularis like this one into a bonsai. I want to possibly even do a little mame bonsai. So mame bonsai are basically these smaller form bonsai trees. This one is a cherry bonsai starter plant right here, so this will get cherry blossoms. This one is for $3.99 as a starter, but I could actually wire these down and make it more of like a broom style. I was thinking about doing a plant giveaway for even bonsai. So plant foldies, if you're interested in me sending off plant bonsai as well as a plant giveaway, please leave that in the comments and in the live premiere chats. And you can see right over here, this is that strawberry begonia I talked about earlier. This is for $2.99, but it is a vigorous grower. Look at that beautiful pink leaf. And speaking about plant giveaways, so I announced like 2 videos ago that I was going to be giving away a free Monstera Thai Constellation that I got at Kroger. I will definitely put that up by next week. I will show you guys a video / picture on Instagram, and the rules are for that plant Monstera Thai Constellation is, number 1, you have to be a US resident. So sorry to my plant foldies that live out in Canada or internationally, I can't ship out the plant there. Number 2, you have to have an Instagram. Number 3, you need to make sure that you're following my Instagram. Number 4, the post that I show the actual Monstera Thai Constellation I'm going to be giving away, you'll need to hit the like on that post and tag a minimum of 3 people on Instagram in the comments section to qualify. Yeah, you can actually tag more than 3 people. For each additional tag on that comment will be an additional ticket I will put in the algorithm for the drawing. And that's basically it. I'm going to be doing that for a good 3 weeks to really give a lot of people some chances. But if you guys already are interested, just look out for the post. If you don't have an Instagram, I would recommend, possibly making an Instagram account, following me at GrowFolds. That way you can even interact with me. That is the fastest way to send a direct message. I pretty much respond to everybody. If you have like questions about plants, feedback you want to give me about the plant YouTube channel, or anything in general, I am all about it. I'm even open to sponsorships. It has to be a legitimate one. I've already caught a couple of like scammers trying to like send me some like really ridiculous sponsorships. So if you are one of those types that want to try to scam, please stay away from our community. It is all about plant foldies and people that love plants. And you can see these are examples of bonsai trees right here. These ones aren't shaped as the best, but this one right here, for instance, is a tiger ficus bonsai. There's different varieties of it. I love bonsai. I want to do an azalea bonsai, some more flowering bonsai. There's just so many things I want to do. And that's the thing about plants and my channel. It is all about the love of plants. I hope you know that I will, feature any types of plants, from common house plants to outdoor gardening, vegetable plants, indoor plants, all of that. I'm not about to just feature, those super rare philodendrons that are costing thousands of dollars. Like, obviously, I am a fan of that, but I also want to show you guys different plants like this. These citrus plants here. This is there's one specific one I want to show you, and it is called a calmodium plant, or what they call the Philippine lime. In the Philippines, they call it calamansi, and I really, really like that as well. Look at that right here. Really like that a lot. So I'm going to eventually buy that. I use it to make calamansi juice. If you're Filipino, you already know this is a staple. We also use that as like a dipping sauce with soy sauce for some of our dishes. So I'm glad that we can find calamansi tree even at Callaway. So that's something I will be purchasing. I am pretty much broke from all the plant shopping here, but thank you to the plant foldies that continue to tune into my videos. And for those that have left a super sticker on my videos with like a $5 tip or any type of tip, for my videos. I really appreciate that. That actually helps with my funding. And even on the live premiere chats, I've seen some people actually drop a super thanks or a super sticker. Don't feel obligated to, but if you want to donate to the channel, I welcome it with open arms, because that means I'll be able to do some more plant shopping and really get you some more plant care tips and plant updates. And you can see here, I just passed by a bunch of Schefflera plants or umbrella plants. Really like that a lot. Schefflera plants are one of my favorite plants to grow because they can become full-blown trees. And you can see right here, this is some type of palm tree. It's not a majesty palm, but the one thing I will tell you about palms, except this one, this is a Rhapis palm right here. Rhapis palm can actually tolerate more, less light, but most palms in general need bright light to really thrive. And this one is for $39.99. That's not a bad price at all for a Rhapis palm. And if you haven't seen my video of the Plant Keeper Inc. or Plant Keeper Co., that is a local plant nursery out in Dallas, Texas, that have large forms of these plants. Definitely check it out in my videos. I actually have a lot of playlists, so if you want to binge my plant content, just check out the playlist and definitely check it out. I have it organized. I'm trying to get some more organization on my plants, but here are some calatheas. So I love that calatheas are assorted here. I think the 4-inch calatheas for $6.99 are a really good price for Calloways. And again, if you kill your calathea, you can return it to Callaway's full money back. What I've been doing with the 4-inch calatheas for $6.99 is I've been taking all of the soil off, washing it off, and sticking these calatheas in a nice decorative fish bowl with some water and some plant nutrients, and they've been doing very well for me. They haven't really crisp up. I don't have to worry about watering them. There is ambient humidity, so like they don't get spider mites. I really think calatheas do best in just straight water, and I have been collecting them, and I'm a lot more confident in growing calatheas, but these are gorgeous. I think the ones at Calloways for $6.99 are the best value, although I will say this one right here, I don't have this calathea plant ID, but look at that. Isn't that stunning? Now this one is for $16.99. So if you're gonna buy a 6-inch planter, I would say if you can find one that you can find, but look at this right here. Look at those roots are super established. I would buy them at a big box store like Walmart. Walmart has the same sizing, like this Calathea Macuyana, for instance, you could possibly find at Walmart in a self-watering planter for $14.97 versus $16.99. So it really depends. But if you kill that Calathea from Calloways, you can return it full money back, and you're not out of money. But I want to pan over here and just show you how gorgeous all of these plants are. So I'm going to show you here another plant. This is a cordyline plant, but this one is a different variety. And then you can see that there are the typical Hawaiian tea plants. And have you ever seen a Dracaena in bloom? I've never seen a Dracaena in bloom, and you can see that there are seeds here. You know, for people who always wonder, how do you hybridize plants? Well, you have to wait for them to bloom and pollinate them and grow them from seed. I have never seen a Dracaena in bloom, so that's super cool. I wonder if you can grow them from seed, but you can see all of the Dracaena that you see at like a big box store in like a 4-inch starter planter by like Costa Farms Exotic Angel. Look at how large that these Dracaena can get in time. And mind you, all of these Dracaena, can, as bright and beautiful as these colors, can tolerate lower light conditions, and actually their health won't really decline. I would say their growth pattern would just be a little bit slow. And then you can think about that normal green Monstera deliciosa. Look at the mature form. Look at how gorgeous the fenestration is here. Look at how large it gets. So when you think about plants, and this one just started to unfurl a new leaf, love that a lot. My Monstera Constellation that I got about 4 or 5 years ago is as large as this Monstera deliciosa. And it's one of those plants where you get them as like a 6-inch planter, but over time they grow very large. So I always tell people, yes, the plant is small, but you need to plan ahead for your space, because a plant will definitely outgrow its space. But you can see right over here, more Dracaenas, beautiful Dracaenas. And one of the reasons why I wanted to show you guys this Calloways today is because for $199, I am showing you a variegated golden dragon. I love this philodendron. So they just have the green form, but this one is molted. So it has some of that, variegation as well. Now, the variegated golden dragon has that white elbow variegation, but I do like that subtle green on green variegation. Look at that right there. And I love the leaf shape of it. So with this type of philodendron, it has to grow on a pole. And if you notice how as it grows up a pole, the leaves get larger and larger. I don't think $199 for this mature specimen is a bad price at all. And again, if this thing dies, if you bought it from Calloways, you can return the dead plant and get your $199 back. So obviously there isn't as much of a risk when it goes to Calloways, and I love Calloways. The only thing is, say I return a plant, right? When I return a plant, I end up buying like 6 or 7 new plants. So like they still make money off of it, but I love the fact that there is a guarantee. I love the fact that, they style their plants well. Like for instance, this is a Dracaena Janet Craig compacta for $16.99. It's a little bit bigger, but they've got their compact, low light tolerant plants put together. And then right next to it is a gorgeous looking cordyline compacta. So this is the more compact miniature version that I think you can grow indoors as a household plant. If you love pink plants, this is for $16.99. I'm definitely gonna eventually buy this plant as well. With cordyline plants though, when grown indoors, they are highly susceptible to spider mites. So my care tip for it is to obviously give it bright and direct light, especially if you want that pink variegation, but also spraying it with a neem oil spray. I've kind of demonstrated that, DIY spray that I've done for my plants, but I will also show you guys a shorts video on plant preventative and how to make that spray in a future video. And then this is also a gorgeous looking Ficus triangularis braided form. So it looks like they took a bunch of Ficus triangularis, braided them together, and it looks like that the different plants are fusing together. I made a bonsai out of that. So please check out my older videos. Like 2 or 3 nights ago, I actually showed the process of doing that. And I hope you guys like it. And I'm showing you guys some more of my favorite plants here. Aglonema. So this is an Aglonema sparkling Sarah. This one is, I believe, for $16.99 in a planter like this. Love Aglonemas. My thing about Aglonemas is they will get leggy if you overwater them. They do not like to be overwatered, which makes them an easier plant because if you're an underwaterer like me, you can literally neglect them for 2 weeks or so and they will not wilt. It really takes a lot to kill an Aglonema, but the fast way to kill an Aglonema is by overwatering it. But you can see here so many other plants. I'm just going to show you the different varieties of pothos plants. You already know that pothos are super easy to grow, and I love that they have it all mixed up. We've got some marble queen pothos, neon pothos, and with this golden hour with that bright afternoon sun, look at how it illuminates the plant. Super easy. These are for $16.99 in the 6-inch planter. Philodendron heteracea. These ones are more variegated. Love that a lot as well. And we're just going to keep looking at these plants. I do want to show you this green glow plant leaf shine. I've actually used that. It makes your leaves super shiny. And then if you don't have Super Thrive, that is a vitamin plant solution. Definitely get that. It works well for plants. And you can see right here, we've got a gorgeous looking Epipremnum pinnatum albo or variegated Epipremnum pinnatum. This one is growing on a totem, and you can see how the leaves are fenestrating. We've got some Scindapsus exotica here. I love Scindapsus exotica because of the large velvety leaves. This one is a little bit more slower growing as compared to a pothos plant, but I just love it. And then look at that variegation on that pinnatum right there. That's endemic to my home country, the Philippines. They pretty much grow like weeds there. And we've got a bunch of Hoyas out here on a trellis. Kathy, which is one of my plant foldies that loves Hoyas, that one was for you. This one is mislabeled as a Philodendron gloriosum. This one's for $19.99. This is actually a Philodendron summer glory. Love this Philodendron as well. It's another plant that I want to add to my collection just because it's an easy to grow Philodendron. I just love the simplicity of the leaves. It's got a metallic look about it. And then we've got some more Philodendrons right over here. This one is a tiger tooth philodendron, so it kind of reminds me of like a philodendron ring of fire, but just a green version, or a philodendron golden crocodile, which is more of just the yellow neon version. This is just a typical green one. And then we've just got different types of Monstera right here. This one is a Monstera Peru. Love this as well for $14.99. This one would like to grow on a totem, so if you put it on a moss pole, a stake or something, you'll get bigger leaves, and it could potentially fenestrate as well. Love the texture of that green. Very nice looking plant. And then we've got some regular Monstera deliciosas right here, just a juvenile form. And when I say juvenile form, it's just got a heart-shaped leaf. It hasn't actually fenestrated. And sometimes I just wish a Monstera would stay juvenile, like just those heart-shaped leaves are gorgeous. And I've been talking a lot about Monstera Thai Constellations. This one's for $89.99, and I will give Calloways credit. They were one of the first local plant nurseries to really have Monstera Thai Constellations readily available. Would you, ask me if I would buy it for $89.99? I wouldn't, just because if you haven't been following my channel, I've found some Monstera Thai Constellations for $29.99, and more Monstera Thai Constellations are going to show up at big box stores. Like this 4-inch one is $59.99, but you can buy a 4-inch one at Kroger with bigger leaves for $29.99. So Kroger is a grocery store out in Texas that have Monstera Thai Constellations, and you can see here, this is a Philodendron Goldie Eye. Like that a lot for $19.99. It kind of looks like a Syngonium, and you can see we've got some more Monstera Thais. And one of my favorite philodendrons. This is a Philodendron Florida Green. So this is a plant I've seen for a long time. This has been here for quite a while, and it's still growing up this totem. As you can see, the aerial roots have attached to this this little totem right here, and the leaves get bigger and bigger as it goes up that totem. Love this a lot. It looks like there's a couple of Philodendron Florida Green in there. That one is for $199, and then we've got an Alocasia Frydek. Love this as well. This one is for $19.99. I have a good friend of mine sent me a Alocasia variegated Frydek, so that one's growing in Leca. We'll see if it makes it. And we've got some more anthuriums here. This one is a little bit leaf damage, but this one is for $29.99. The Claveridarium. With anthuriums like this, they do require a lot of humidity, so they're a little bit more of a challenging plant. I wouldn't recommend it for any beginners. And then right here, I would recommend for beginners is a Sansevieria. So these are different types of Sansevieria for, I believe, is it $3.99? And this one is a Sansevieria Bright Star. I like that a lot. Look at that variegation. Actually, I would definitely get that. Here is another Sansevieria right over here. This is the Sansevieria Silver Star. I mean, it's pretty much generic names, but I'm just gonna read these out here. This one is a Sansevieria Glimmering Star. It looks like it has a glimmer of variegation. This is a Sansevieria Jade Star right here. Yep, that is a Jade Star, so just mostly green. And we've got a Sansevieria Forest Star. So those are really cool, really small 2-inch starters. With these Sansevieria, you don't want to overwater them. Just have like a regular watering routine. They can tolerate very low light conditions. So I actually bought one of those, and I have it on one of my mirrors in my hallway. And you can see here, we've got some more plants. I'm going to just show you some more Alocasia. So this is an Alocasia Silver Dragon. This one is for $16.99. I would wait on buying that instead of at Callaway, or $14.99. I would buy that at a trending tropical at Walmart for $19.84. And you can see we've got some more flowering plants. We've got a bunch of hanging baskets of Hoyas. Love that a lot. And then more Monstera Thai Constellations right over here. I will say that these larger Thai Constellations for $89.99, it's a pretty good price, but I feel like you can get a bigger Monstera Thai Constellation for less. I know that the big box stores like Walmart, potentially Home Depot or Lowe's are going to start carrying them in larger sizes. So let's see what happens. And if you haven't already, I would recommend you subscribing to my channel and making sure the notifications notification bell is on, because if you want to like stay up to date on what plants are showing up at big box stores, you already know this would be the main location, because I literally am filming big box store plants. Especially if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I can at least point you in the direction where to find these plants. So if I find me a Monstera Constellation out at Walmart, you already know you will be the first ones to find it on my channel. And over here, another gorgeous looking Philodendron, Summer Glory. Love that bronze look about it, that metallic look. This one is for $19.99. But we're just going to keep looking at these plants, and I'll see what else I can show you guys. Highly variegated these golden pothos are. So there's different variegations of it, but this one is super highly variegated. I would consider this more of the Hawaiian pothos. Very easy to grow. These hanging baskets that you saw were $29.99. And I'm going to pan over here, and then thank you to those who have stuck around this video. I know this video is a little bit longer, but I don't know, I was just all about wanting to talk about plants and really show you guys what Calloways in Prosper, Texas can offer. So here is another plant that I want to grow indoors. I was told this can grow in full sun. And this is another plant that I just can't really pronounce the name, but look at that variegation, that red hot pink variegation. Here is another one right over here that I would like to grow, and these are all for only $3.99, so that's not a bad price at all. I may end up buying this, putting it in another container, like repotting it in a 6-inch planter, and yeah, this Brazilian red hots, and then growing it out in full sun to see if I can get even better variegation, and then eventually bring it inside and grow it indoors. I always like experimenting with plants that are meant to grow outside. Like this one's the Joseph's coat, but look at Joseph's coat. Look at all of that coloration there. It's absolutely stunning. And I love the fact that these are full sun plants, meaning I can just put it out in my landscape, my front, yard. And you can see here, what a gorgeous looking neon version. And then we also have this right here. I'm just trying to pull this out. So this is another mahogany ajuga plant. Look at that, it's black. So this is another plant I will definitely be purchasing and putting it in a planter to grow indoors. So as you can tell, I want to just grow plants and different types of plants. I did catch myself adding too many plants in my collection to where some of my plants ended up getting some spider mites, some of them didn't get watered. So I'm catching back up, and I just want to make sure I'm pacing myself. But look at this one. This is a yellow one. So I'm thinking the more bright sun that you give it, like full sun, this is going to be yellow. So all of the 4 plants I picked up, stay tuned for future videos where I repot them, give you guys updates. I know I've been doing a lot of plant shopping videos, and some of you guys are actually interested in my personal houseplant collection. Don't worry, I will do a houseplant tour soon. I'm just not quite ready yet. And you can see this one right here. This is another cool one right here. This is a red threads one. Look at that beautiful purple underside, and then just that green look about it. These would make perfect like patio garden plants. I don't know, we'll see. Let me know what you guys think of these plants so far. And you can see all of these are garden accents. Look at that gorgeous looking asparagus fern hanging basket. We've got some Boston ferns right over here. I really do feel lucky to be able to look at many Callaway's nurseries, just because this one is another ajuga. This one is a silver queen, so this one doesn't have the pink variegation. It's more cream, and I love the mahogany ajuga right here. Plant foldies, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I mean, look at this neon plant right here. You already know I'm a sucker for neon plants. This one is an Aurea version. All of these plants are garden accents, and this one I actually wanted to show you. This is the White Nancy. I asked if this could grow indoors. They said you can. This would just need a lot of bright indirect light. And this would be a good hanging basket trailing plant. Look at how the silver leaves show, and it's absolutely stunning. Look at the undersides are more green, and then it has that gray silver tone about it. This is bringing me a lot of joy. Plant foldies, let me know in the comments what you think. I really hope to see more comments, and if you have made it this far and have not hit the like button, please please, please, please hit the like button. It really is not that hard to just hit that like button. It really shows your appreciation for my efforts to give you guys 1 hour plant shopping videos. Today is about an hour and a half long, so hopefully this is a nice plant party. I love showing you guys all these plants, and you can see all of these anthuriums in a crate. We've got some petunia plants hanging in a hanging basket for $12.99. Some more aluminum or polea plants as well. One of my favorite plants actually. And I'm just gonna pan over and show you more plants here. I already bought this Coleus plant, but I wanted to show you this one. This is for $6.99. Look at that green, yellow-green, I wouldn't say variegation, the coloration on it. What a gorgeous looking Coleus plant. I love how the leaves are serrated, and this is a very good looking Coleus plant. This is a Coleus Golden Gate. This one actually has a lot of growth. Like, you can literally take the top 4 shoots and cut them, stick them in water, and grow them. And as you cut these Coleus, they get bushier and bushier. And these kind of remind me of marigolds for some reason. Marigold flowers. Really love this a lot. I'm glad I was able to find this Coleus earlier, and actually this is one that I'm tempted to buy as well because it's such a good specimen, and you can see how it's just such a good looking plant. And then we just have more plants right over here, more flowers. So we're just gonna walk through, and I'm gonna go pan over and show you more plants here. Wanted to show you guys these all-stars collection. So basically different types of flowering plants, ground covers, begonias, coleus, and you can see right here these are some dahlias. So I'm actually interested in growing some dahlias in the ground in my landscape because they can take full sun and they're perennial, so they will always return back year after year. So that's really exciting for me. I found a couple that were really nice bright colors, but look at how the sun is hitting all of this. Can you imagine having all of these plants just growing in your landscape, the different types of colors? This one right here is a celosa plant, but this one is a different one. I haven't ever seen this color of bloom. What a gorgeous looking celosa. And all of these all-star plants at Calloways are for $3.99. So this one is a Coleus right here. This is a Coleus Flamethrower Series Habanero. I actually got this one right here. So I got all of the Flamethrower series. I like that a lot. One of my favorites is this one right here. This is a Coleus Flamethrower Spice Curry. What I like about it is the undersides are a red color, but the top part is more of a golden yellow look about it. Very nice looking plant, and even the veination of red is really nice, and the stems as well. And this is a super cool plant right here. This is another Coleus. This is a Coleus Flamethrower. This one is something like, is it a chili or something of that nature, but really nice different colors. Now, to get these colors, you want to give it a lot of bright light. I think these ones can actually take full sun, and I want to show you all of these begonias. So these Bossa Nova begonias, this is the white one right here. So these look like angel wing begonias. I would think that their growth pattern would need like a totem pole or some kind of pole to keep it upright, but I would think that these plants would also be easy to grow. I did buy a couple of these. I love the blooms and also the leaf shape of these begonias. So there's many varieties here. I also like the dark foliage ones, and you see how that sun is hitting the red color. It is literally just making them fiery, and that's the thing I like about plants. You know, you can view a plant from the top view, and then when you view it from the underside, you can get so many different colors. I mean, this one is absolutely stunning. It's one that I bought as well. I'm going to repot it it in a bigger pot to see if it will actually get larger. But you can see they've got so many different types of begonias. Like here's another begonia right over here with dark foliage plants. So I'm learning a lot about begonias. I didn't realize that, you know, begonias actually have some beautiful blooms and are grown for that. And then here are some more begonias here. I actually like these begonias because they kind of look like roses. These ones are more for shade. So the nonstop mocha cherry is the one I got. And what I love is that dark foliage leaf. And even the undersides of the leaves remind me of like a Rex begonia. I'm a fan of this bougainvillea, this variegated bougainvillea, and also this is a plant I'm planning on buying for $29.99. This is a variegated Fatschedera or a pia tree plant. What I like about it is, do you see how the leaves look like a sweet gum tree or even a maple tree? And I love the fact that they've got it staked up to where it looks like a tree already. And we've got another variegated bougainvillea, but I definitely want to get a Fatschedera variegated. And speaking of variegated plants, do you see how gorgeous this variegated hibiscus is? So this is a variegated salsa dancer hibiscus, the pinks, the whites, the variegation. This can take full sun and the blooms are red. I actually bought one of these when I first saw it at H-E-B, which is a local Texas grocery store. It's the only Texas grocery. You can only find H-E-Bs in Texas, but I was able to get one for a really good price, and they now have it available at Calloways. This one's actually got better variegation than mine. And then right over here we've got some citrosa, or some plants that will repel mosquitoes. So if you want some citronella plants, definitely get that. But you see all of these hanging baskets here. I just want to walk through and show you without any of the commentary. I wanted to show you these gorgeous looking lantanas. So lantanas are a very drought tolerant, hardy, very fast growing plant. I planted a bunch of them in my garden, in my landscape, and I'm hoping that I will get a lot of clusters of blooms like this. What I like about it is they are drought tolerant, they're perennials, so that works for my zone. And you can see here we've got some dwarf zinnias. So these zinnias, look at how cool it is, how they all have the same height on the flower. Now these are all for $1.99. I do like the color of this zinnia. I love zinnias. They're so easy to grow. The variegated zinnia, or zinnia that I get, the candy cane or the peppermint stick one that you can buy at a big box store of seeds, gorgeous looking flowers. They make very good cut flowers. Now these ones are more of the miniature ones. Typically zinnias will get a little bit larger. The only thing about zinnias again is that they can get fungus, so you don't really want to water the tops of their leaves. So that's just one thing I want to warn you guys. And then we've got some more assorted lantanas and a bunch of what looks like miniature petunias. These are Calibachoa plants and more different types of petunias right over here. Lots of it. I'm just going to walk by and show you guys all of the cool varieties they have. such a cool velvet, dark black petunia. Isn't that awesome? I mean, Mother Nature is amazing, and I love that texture. Part of me just wants to buy that to say I have a black petunia. And here's another petunia right here. I love how, you know, the color scheme is purple and yellow, and on the color wheel they're actually complementary colors. They're on the opposite side of the color wheel, which I think is really cool. And then look at this gorgeous looking bougainvillea. This is the variegated one as well. You can see that the red next to all of those variegated leaves are awesome. I would love to make a bonsai with this. Now these are for $16.99. That's not a bad price at all, considering that they are very healthy stock. And you can see this one's a little bit more sun stressed. So I talked about if you give it a little bit more light, look at how there's some pinks with it. And such a highly variegated plant you would think would burn in the sun, but that one actually thrives. And I'm just gonna walk over here. The video's almost done, but I am just so excited to show you all the different plants that they have. So I'm just gonna walk through here one more time and show you. Finally, I'm going to show you some gorgeous looking Philodendron orchids. The one that I like is that yellow pastel looking one. All of these Philodendron orchids are for $14.99. But my plant foldies and anybody that is new to the channel, thank you so much for watching this video. It is a fun Friday evening. I hope you guys enjoy this plant party. As always, please make sure you're hitting the like button and hitting subscribe. I will be ending this video, and hopefully I can have a video for Saturday. I have yet to film it, so I might have to come outside and film. But this is Richie at Grow Folds. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.